Good morning. Last time we saw the transistor characteristic curves. So these curves are divided into three parts: saturation region, active region, and cutoff region. And after that we saw the DC load line. What is the DC load line? DC load line is a line joining on the characteristic curves at the two extreme conditions of a transistor. Okay. So this DC load line is nothing but it shows the DC conditions, operating conditions of this transistor, which joins the two extreme conditions of the transistor. When transistor in saturation means it is fully on, and when transistor is in cutoff means there is no current flowing through the transistor, it is in off state. Okay, last time we saw this. So with this arrangement, same arrangement as the characteristic curve. Okay, we consider two extreme conditions. So before that we saw the equation VCC equal to VRC plus VCE. So what is VCC? VCC is the total applied voltage. VRC is the voltage across the resistor RC. VCE is the collector to emitter voltage. So with this equation VCC equal to VRC plus VCE. So this is the equation at the output circuit. So this is the output side and this is the input side of the transistor. Okay, here we are applying input, so that's why it is input side, and we get the output from this side, collector to emitter. Is a common emitter configuration. So this is the output side. So for that we can say that this is a output equation, VCC equal to VRC plus VC. So we know that VRC is the voltage across the resistor RC. Current flowing through the RC is IC. So according to Ohm's law, VRC equal to IC into RC. So we are written here IC into RC plus VC. So we consider the one extreme condition when transistor is in saturation, and we are going to find out the coordinates of this point. Okay, when transistor is in saturation means collector current is high. If we observe from the graph, the collector current is high, and what is the VCE? VCE is 0. Okay, so VCE is 0 and collector current is high. So this is the coordinates of this point. So we get that VCE equal to 0. The x coordinate is a VCE. So we know that VCE equal to 0. So use here VCE equal to 0. So VCC equal to IC into RC. Therefore IC equal to VCC by RC. So 0 we get this from this point, and the value of this for y is VCC by RC. So similarly consider another condition, that is when transistor is in cutoff. Okay, when transistor is in cutoff, so at this P point, when transistor is in cutoff, the current is 0, and at this point we are going to find what will be the voltage. So this collector current is 0. Use this in this equation, IC equal to 0. When IC equal to 0, you get VCC equal to VCE. We get here VCC equal to VCC. The B point is the coordinate VCC into VCC comma 0. So this is the coordinate of a B point. So by finding these 2 points, just you can join the line on this characteristic curve, that is nothing but a DC load line, which show the DC conditions of the transistor. When transistor is operated, we set these conditions A and B, then transistor operates on this line. Okay, so this is a DC load line. So another main important concept is a Q point. Okay, so Q point means operating point of a transistor. So this is a characteristic curve of transistor IC versus VCE for different values of IB. We saw that. Okay, so as we draw this A and B line, that is a DC load line. So coordinates of A is given by 0, VCC by RC. So these are the coordinates of transistor operates at A when it is in saturation. So coordinate of B is given by VCC comma 0. Okay, xy coordinate, x is a VCC and 0 this current is 0 for this D. Okay. So the operating point means transistor work at what condition when you set the biasing. Okay, biasing means you have to apply the voltages to the transistor to operate it. Okay, so then as we are connecting external voltage sources and resistor to set the bias, so that Q point should be adjusted at the center of the DC load line. When transistor works as an amplifier, Q point should be adjusted at the center of the DC load line. So this Q point gives the current and voltage of transistor when it is at this point. So what it means that when Q is at this point, that means the voltage across transistor is this one, collector to emitter voltage, which is known as VCEQ, and voltage across current flowing through the transistor is ICQ. So this is the current through the transistor, this is the voltage across transistor. So Q point, coordinates of Q point is given by VCEQ comma ICQ. Okay, so these are the coordinates of the Q point, VCEQ comma ICQ. So that means transistor is worked at this point. What happens sometimes, the Q point may operate at this condition or at this point or at this point. It means that when Q point is here, the current flowing through the transistor is this one now, and voltage across the transistor is this one. Okay, that means transistor operates at this here at this point. Okay, when collector current increases, Q point shift up. When collector current decreases, Q point shifts down as collector current decreases. When Q point shifts down, the VC increases, vice versa. Okay, so this is nothing but a Q point of a transistor or operating point. For the maximum amplification, Q point should be at the center of the DC load line. So we are going to see now the Q point is always maintained at the center of the DC load line. If this Q point shift up or shift down, it gives a distortion at the output. That means if we are applying a sine waveform for amplification purpose to the base, okay, if we apply this to the base of a transistor, you get an amplified waveform at the output. Okay, so this may happen when Q point should be at the center of the DC load line, then we get a distortion less output. Okay, so we get distortion less output when Q point is at the center of DC load line. Where Q point is near the saturation, so this here is the saturation region and this side is the cutoff region. Okay, so when the Q point is near the saturation region, then we get the waveform which is not exactly replica of the input. We get such type of cut waveform. Okay, so like this we get this waveform. So upper peak gets cut. Okay, so this is for the collector current, and when Q point is shifts down near the cutoff, we get the lower peak or negative get cut down. Okay, so we get the distortion when Q point is near the saturation or near the cutoff. So for the large amplification or maximum amplification, it should be maintained at the center of the DC load line. Okay, so this is the main region of a Q point. So this is nothing but a Q point. It should be maintained at the center of the DC load line. So to maintain the Q point at the center of the DC load line, there are different biasing methods. Okay, so there are different biasing methods to maintain the Q point at the center of the DC load line. So first bias is fixed bias. Second bias is base to collector coupled bias. Okay, so this is a collector to base bias. Collector to base bias, it is called as self bias. The third one is emitter feedback bias. Okay, so these are the different biasing, and last one is most important biasing method, that is voltage divider bias. Okay, so this is known as also stabilized bias. Stabilized bias. Okay, so this is the most important bias. So we are going to focus on this bias, voltage divider bias is most important bias. So these three biasings are also useful biasing, but they have some disadvantages. So we directly focused on this voltage divider bias. Okay, so no need to observe these biasing directly. We switch to the voltage divider biasing. Okay, let us see what is the voltage divider biasing. So we use a DC voltages to bias the transistor. Okay, so this is the supply we require from VCC to ground. Okay, so this is the transistor and we have to give a biasing. Biasing means what? You have to apply the voltage to this transistor so that the Q point of a transistor should be maintained at the center of the DC load line. So you keep one thing, you keep in mind that the biasing we are provide to the transistor so that the Q point should be maintained at the center of the DC load line. You saw this. Okay, so the name voltage divider bias is given by the how we are going to apply the base voltage to the transistor. Okay, so here we are using two resistors connected in a series, say R1 and R2. So this R1 and R2 are the two resistors. These are connected in series, and whatever the voltage across this R2 is given to the base of the transistor. So what, because of this name, this R1 and R2 arrangement is known as voltage divider biasing. So this is the base voltage VB. Okay, so this voltage is applied to the base of a transistor, so this named as the base voltage VB. So this VB voltage is the voltage across R2, and we know that according to the potential divider formula, okay, potential divider formula, we can find the voltage across the R2. We can find the voltage across the R2. Voltage across the R2 is VB. So VB equal to, by using the formula, you have to know that the potential divider formula is R2 divided by R1 plus R2 into VCC. So R2 divided by R1 plus R2 into VCC. So this is the voltage at the base of the transistor. R2 divided by R1 plus R2 into VCC is the voltage, okay, applied here. So this is the voltage equation at the point Vp. So there is another resistor connected at the collector which provides a load. Okay, we know the working of the use of this R1 and R2. So this arrangement is known as potential divider arrangement, which is used to generate a base voltage that is applied to the base of a transistor to bias the base, and which will become base to emitter junction forward bias because of this base voltage. So one condition FR, F condition is occurred here, base to emitter junction gets forward bias. As this VCC you have to apply, you have to adjust the resistance value RC so that this base to collector junction becomes reverse bias, and this collector resistor provides a load to the transistor. That means this is responsible to develop the voltage at the collector. So that's why it is called as a load voltage. So first thing is R1 and R2. Use of R1 or R2 is potential divider bias, which bias the base. RC is used for the load, which provides the load and develop the voltage at the collector. Okay. So there is another resistance connected, say RE. Okay. So this RE is used to stabilize the Q point of a transistor against change in a temperature. Okay. So this RE is used to stabilize the Q point of a transistor at the center of this DC load line against change in a temperature. Okay. So this RE, use of RE is to stabilize. How it gets stabilized? Let us see here. Okay. So RC is used as a load. Okay. The work third, RE. The use of RE is, RE is used as a DC stabilization, DC voltage. Okay. DC stabilization. Okay, against change in temperature. Okay, so this is the work of the RE. So this gets stabilization. How it gets stabilization? As temperature increases, we know that collector current increases. Okay, so just write one sequence how this gets stabilization. So we know that, so here Q point disturbs means, as Q point disturbs means when Q point shifts up, collector current increases. When Q point shifts down, collector current decreases. So this increase decrease is happened because of change in a temperature. Okay, so this change in a temperature is stabilized by the RE, and it should be maintained at the center of the DC load. So how it gets stabilized? Let us see here. So we are going to see the sequence. Let us see the sequence. So as temperature increases, okay, as temperature of transistor increases, so it means that as temperature increases, the collector current through the transistor increases. Okay, so collector current increases means what? The Q point shifts up. Collector current increases means Q point shifts up. So we don't want this Q point shifts up, and it gets stabilized by using the RE. So this IC increases. As IC increases means we can say that IE also increases. Why we can say like this, IE also increases? Because we know that IC is approximately equal to IE. So that's why as IC increases, IE also increases. As IE increases, VE also increases. So this VE is the voltage across this RE. Okay, so VE also increases because VE equal to IE into RE. So that's why VE also increases. As VE increases means what? So if we consider this loop, base voltage equal to voltage across base to emitter plus voltage across this resistor RE. Okay, so this VB equal to this voltage plus this voltage. So we can write the equation here. So this right here now. So here VB equal to base to emitter VBE plus VE. So this is the equation at this. So VB equal to VBE. So this voltage plus this voltage. Okay. So voltage across R2 is VB. So if you see from this side, okay, this is parallel. So this and this both are same. So if you see this side, so VBE plus VE. So this is the same. VB is fixed. So here as VE increases, VBE decreases. Okay, VE increases because this is fixed. VB is fixed. As V increases, VBE decreases. So we can write here VBE decreases. Okay, so we continue this sequence up to here. As this V increases, VBE decreases. As this VBE decreases means base to emitter forward bias decreases, and as base to emitter forward bias decreases, so VBE decreases means base to emitter forward bias decreases. Base to emitter forward bias decreases. As the base to emitter forward bias decreases means IB decreases. Okay, so we should continue with this sequence up to here. As this voltage decreases means IB decreases. IB decreases means what? IC also decreases. Okay, so whatever this increased IC is decreased at this point, that is because of only RE. So this means that RE is used for the stabilization of Q point. So DC stabilization. Okay, so because why IB decreases, IC decreases, we know that IC equal to alpha times IB. Okay, IC equal to alpha. We know the current ratio, so alpha and beta. Alpha is equal to IC by IB. So IC equal to alpha times IB. So therefore, as because of increase in the temperature, collector current increases, it drops to its original value with this sequence. Okay, so you have to see this. So this is the use of RE to get the stabilization. Okay, so working of R1 R2 is, this is R1 R2 potential divider bias to bias the base voltage. RC is provided the load. RE is used for the DC stabilization. So there another two components are used here. One is coupling capacitor, okay, and another here input coupling capacitor. So here output coupling capacitor and input coupling capacitor, CC1 and CC2. So here we are connecting input voltage AC, which should be amplified at the output. Okay, AC input voltage. So this AC input voltage is connected to the base of transistor, and we know that capacitor only passes AC and blocks the DC. So this is the main important point you have to keep in mind. The capacitor passes AC and blocks the DC. That's why only AC is coupled, connected from here to the input of this amplifier. Okay, and whatever the DC current coming from this, which is stopped here, so it is stopped at this point and which is not entered to the AC, because if this is a low voltage, the DC current can easily enter here, but this coupling capacitor stop this current flow and only passes AC from this side to this side. So keep in mind that capacitor passes AC. Okay, so capacitor passes AC and blocks the DC. Okay, so this is most important point about the capacitor. So this capacitor passes AC and blocks the DC. So it is DC voltage, so it blocks. So here also, so whatever the amplified voltage at the collector, it passes through this coupling capacitor CC2. Okay, and we get here output voltage, which is amplified. So this coupling capacitor passes the AC and whatever the DC current is blocked here. So whatever DC current is blocked by the capacitor CC2. So the use of these two coupling capacitors is same, only passes AC and blocks the DC. This DC is blocked, only passes the AC to the input, and here only passes the AC to the. So this is the use of the coupling capacitor. So fourth is coupling capacitors. So these coupling capacitors are just only passes AC and blocks the DC. So this is the use of this coupling capacitor. Last is the fifth component which we are going to use here. Okay, that is CE capacitor, which is used electrolytic capacitor here, positive and negative. Okay, so this capacitor is most important in this voltage divider biasing. So this capacitor is used to increase the gain. So by using this RE, so this RE is used for the stabilization purpose. But main disadvantage of this RE is, as it reduces this base current, it also reduces AC base current also. Okay, so this is the DC current. Okay, so this IC, I think, so this is the DC current. So that's why we are using here DC stabilization purpose. So this is DC. So as we are discussed here, as it decreases the IB, similarly it can decrease also AC IB. So this is the DC. Okay, so this is the DC IB. So it can also reduce the AC IB. So as AC IB decreases, AC output current and output voltage decreases. That means this voltage is get reduced because of this RE. Okay, so main drawback of RE is, so it reduces the output voltage. So according to this condition, as IB decreases, IC decreases. So here also IB decreases, that may be AC. AC also decreases, and that it generates a negative feedback. So drawback of RE is it generates negative feedback. Negative feedback means which reduces the output voltage. So this RE has a drawback, it generates a negative feedback, and this capacitor is used to connect to avoid that negative feedback. Okay, to avoid means whatever the, so we know that capacitor passes AC. So whatever the AC voltage is passed by this capacitor, so AC voltage is passed by this capacitor, there is no AC voltage, so capacitor passes AC and blocks the DC. So only there is a DC voltage. Okay, so AC is grounded by this capacitor. So this capacitor CE is used to bypass AC voltage across RE. Okay, so C is used to bypass AC voltage across RE. So that's why this AC voltage is bypassed, reduced by this CE, and it will avoid the negative. C is used to avoid the negative feedback. So this is C is used to bypass AC voltage across RE, and it is avoided negative feedback. Okay, so this negative feedback is avoided by this C. You just keep in mind that C avoid the negative feedback. How it avoided? Whatever the AC voltage is grounded by this capacitor C, so there is only DC voltage, so that this RE stabilize the current, but the AC is grounded. So here only AC is grounded, so that's why negative feedback for AC is avoided by the field. So you have to keep in mind that these are all the uses of these components. Okay, so R1 R2 provide the bias base voltage. That is the potential divider known as. RC is used for the load to generate output voltage. RE is used for the DC stabilization, which controls the Q point at the center of DC load line. Okay, drawback is it generates a negative feedback, so this negative feedback is avoided by the CE. So whatever the AC voltage is grounded by this capacitor. So this CC1 and CC2 are the coupling capacitor, which only couple the AC signal. Okay, CC1 couple the AC input to the base, and CC2 couples the whatever the collector output voltage to the output. Okay, whatever the DC current from the VCC is blocked by the CC1 and C2. So these are not going to disturb the output voltage. So these are not going to disturb the input of this. Okay, so this is the uses. So this is most important biasing, which is called as voltage divider biasing. Okay, so all these are the most important points you should know. Okay, so this equation, then this equation. So we know the output equation now here. So output equation VCC equal to, so this equation voltage across RC plus voltage across transistor plus voltage across RE. So we can write here VCC equal to, okay, VCC equal to voltage across RC, which is given by IC into RC, plus voltage across transistor, that is VCE, plus voltage across RE, that is VRE. Okay, so this is the output equation. So in last time we saw there is no RE, but here we are connecting RE. So VCC equal to voltage across this plus voltage across this plus voltage across this. Okay, that is the applied total voltage. This voltage equal to this voltage plus this voltage plus this voltage. Okay, that's for IC into R. So we know that here we solve IC into RC plus VCE plus IE into RE. So IC is approximately equal to IE. So therefore we write here IC into bracket IC plus RE approximation plus VC. Okay. So VCC equal to IC into bracket RC plus RE plus VC. So this is the output equation for this amplifier. So these are the important equations. VC is equal to IC into bracket RC plus RE plus VCE, and VB equal to R2 upon R1 plus R2 into VCE. So then third equation, VB equal to VBE plus VE. Okay, then okay, so these are the important equations. So you have to keep in mind all these equations. Okay, let us stop here now.